Welcome to Study Hall, and today we will be learning about the water cycle. Do you know about these? Well, we're here to help. Here's an introduction to the water cycle. The water cycle is the continuous process where water moves around Earth and through the atmosphere, transforming between liquid, solid, and gas states in a cycle driven by solar energy and gravity. Some key processes include evaporation, which is basically water rising up, condensation, which is the vapor forming clouds, precipitation, which is water falling as rain or snow, and collection or runoff, which is water gathering in rivers, lakes, oceans, and groundwater. So, first we have evaporation. Evaporation is when the sun's energy heats up bodies of water like oceans, lakes, and rivers, causing liquid water to turn into vapor or a gas and rise into the atmosphere. Like, for example, when you're boiling a pot of water, you can see steam leaving it. If you put your hand on top of the steam, your hand will become wet. That's because the water particles turn into gas, and then once it hits your hand, you can feel the liquidness. Condensation. As water vapor rises, it cools and condenses into tiny liquid droplets or ice crystals, forming clouds. Have you ever wondered how clouds are formed? Well, it's based off condensation. When so many tiny particles join together, it clumps together and creates a cloud. For example, when you're in the shower taking a nice hot shower, you can see the mirror condensing with some water vapor. That's basically what it is. That's just an example of a real life situation. Then, precipitation. When the water droplets in the clouds become too heavy. So when there's too many water droplets in one cloud, they fall back to the Earth's surface as what we know as rain, snow, sleet, or hail. So when it's raining outside and you are playing outside and it suddenly rains? Well, it's because the clouds were overweight, basically, because of the too many water droplets accumulated. And finally, we have collection. Water flows over the land, collecting in rivers, lakes, and oceans. First, we have infiltration, which is some water soaks into the ground, becoming groundwater. So sometimes if you dig deep enough in the ground, you can see some water that's still there. And then we have percolation, which is water that moves deeper into the ground. Now, do you know these? Well, let's see. First, we have evaporation. Evaporation would go here because say this is like the whole water like body, and then it's going up because of the sun's heat. Then condensation. It's forming clouds here because the water droplets are forming. Then precipitation. The clouds become too heavy and it eventually lets go and drops. And finally, collection. Collection, it can either go inside the water body again, or it goes underground deep into the soil, into earth. So a way to practice this would be to draw and describe. You can draw just on a plain white piece of paper, just these 4 different cycles, and just draw. Like for precipitation, just draw some rain or some snow. For evaporation, draw some steam. For condensation, draw some clouds. For collection, draw this like sort of flowy kind of thing horizontally. These are just ways for you to help remember the 4 main points of the water cycle. There's so many other parts to the water cycle. If you go more in depth when you're older, you'll understand. So these are the cycles of the water, the sections of the water cycle. We have gaseous and liquid. So evaporation and condensation happen in its gas state. Liquid would be precipitation and collection. These two happen in the liquid form. All right, that's all for today. Thank you for listening, and remember to keep learning.